So Miss Noni,
Yes.
what they say, they don't want to play our music.
Hey, I know, it's tricky times. It's tricky times to be an artist in South Africa these days. Okay, so word on the street is we saw there's obviously a rally coming through from social media, obviously the likes of Katlego Malachi and a lot of artists are also kind of getting behind him, which I also think is a very important cause. It seems as though Woolworths has decided not to renew their contract with SAMPRA. So SAMPRA is basically a music body that pays out royalties to certain artists with regards to their music being played in different platforms, the same as what SAMRO does as well. They work in conjunction. So every year, these licenses need to be renewed, and it seems as though Woolworths has decided not to renew their license with them, which means they're opting not to pay local artists for their music that's played in their shops, which means they're going to only play music which is possibly international. I think that's probably what they're going to end up doing. And if that's the case,
Don't they pay for that?
No, so what Katlego said, and if I'm correct, he said that they're basically paying royalty-free.
Yes, royalty-free music.
Songs. So obviously, I'm sure that they probably did pay something to license the music,
Oh,
but
so
it's
covers
royalty-free.
and stuff.
No, not covers. Like, you know, you can literally be a producer, make beats and stuff like that. You just said it's royalty-free,
Yes.
or songs. I'm a songwriter.
Yes.
Guys, whatever, license this for this period.
Yes.
Basically for like
It could
a
be
year.
that, or it could literally just be giveaway songs. Because at the end of the day, for them, it's just background music. They're not really, like, they're not that antsy on making sure that they have, like, hot music playing inside a Woolworths store. It's not the club at the end of the day, you know what I mean? But the problem about it is that if they're not going to play any local music, it means they're not going to pay those royalties. And at some point, it's going to get to a point where it's going to roll over to all the bigger types of corporations. So if Woolworths does it as a case study and they start off with it, and it rolls over to maybe, say, a Checkers, and it rolls over to Fushini, and it rolls over to Mr. Price, and Mr. Price has that radio that they've got as well. If it rolls over to those types of corporations where they realize, oh, this is a way to save money, then where do the artists end up? Because that's a big chunk of money that the artists are going to lose out on.
Hey, shout out to Hope Master. So you got that SAMRO text 50K.
Yeah, you see that, eh?
That's probably from like no sleep. That was like
do you guys
long ago.
do you guys honestly think the whole Tlaude thing was like a wake-up call for SA music in general? Because I'm going to tie back to that now.
Okay.
With the 90% local.
90%?
That thing helped.
You know what? I think it did help with regards to South African music obviously getting more rotation, but I think it was just badly executed.
Yeah.
It's not that it was a bad idea. I think the way that it was rolled out was kind of like in your face, and it kind of scared people off, and it was, advertisers were like, oh, what's going on? Okay, let's run. As opposed to it being phased in, and it's slowly becoming the
Audio
norm.
just like, I
Do you
run
understand?
things, yeah.
So I think the way it was executed was maybe the problem. It's not that the artist had an issue with it. I don't think it's an issue that corporations or advertisers might have had an issue with, because if you're going to do a big billboard with Ricky Rick, why would you not want to support his music on radio? Do you understand?
So who spoke out? I know the artists have been railing about it, because I saw Ganyani.
Yes, Ganyani spoke about it. Ginger Trill also spoke out.
Nice.
Obviously, there's a whole like movement on social media basically saying let's.
So am I ambassadors
in
in Woolworths about South Africa? They haven't said anything.
The ambassadors?
Yeah.
Who are the ambassadors?
Like a Bonang. Does Bonang say anything?
She probably won't say anything because she doesn't make music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and in this climate, if it doesn't involve you, you'd rather shut up.
Exactly. And for her, she's making money off of her lingerie line as well as getting her champagne in there. So I don't think she's going to say anything.
So here's my thing, right? With people like Woolies, they're going to come back to us and ask for help.
Who's
What do you
us?
mean?
Well, not us, the music, but they'll come back to say, South Africa will use you and use whatever and shop and plug into it. But at the same time, they don't want to help us grow our industry.
That's my whole problem.
Because the problem is with them, and it's that they want to play other people's music internationally, Baba Patala for that license for OWK. But at the same time, Tina, as artists, we start starving. And now what happens is going to be crime. So they're actually going to contribute to the unemployment rate. I think so.
I feel bad about it because in a country like ours, that it's been lopsided in terms of advantage for a certain demographic of people. When you're going to come into a country and you're going to earn money from that country, and I'm not saying they use musicians across the board, but they do use musicians in their December catalogs and things of that sort. And Tata imali that Woolworths makes on a whole, I don't think contributing that percentage to musicians that they were playing in stores was gonna offset their budgets that much.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, yo, anisboni. As a people, as a country, abasboni.
Or do you think, honestly, do you think the second side of black music, maybe we should hit there? No, I'm being for I'm just asking questions. Maybe the second time, it's too much black music now. Or I don't know.
But even then, I don't even think it was a black music thing because there's a lot of like indie artists that also get their music played in Woolworths stores, and a lot of the time that I would be in there, it would always be like pop music. So what happens to those indie artists from like Cape Town, those Easy Freak and those types of bands? Their music gets played in shops like that, so they're the ones also suffering. It's not necessarily only the South African or the black artists. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
I think if it was the black artists, it was probably maybe say the mainstream artists, because I don't think they're playing Benny Chill inside.
And to be
Woolworths.
honest,
Well,
I
they should
be.
I also don't hear
They
a
should be.
lot of, like, I don't go to Woolworths and I'm like, oh, damn, they play
Piano.
such and such.
You know what
I
mean?
don't, right? I
You
don't.
know?
I only knew that they invest or are into this music thing when they release this.
But as what Noni was saying, that they're probably going to test run it, right?
Yes.
And if they succeed, Pick and Pay will be the next one.
Yes.
And I've heard local.
Yes.
I've heard some of our shit playing
Yes.
Pick and Pay.
And that's
Yeah,
why,
for sure.
Right?
And that's why
And now-
I worry about even the radio stations.
The
that
precedent
they
it
have.
sets.
Like for instance, like Mr. Price has Mr. Price Radio.
Yeah.
And it will roll over into their own radio station situation. It will roll over into the bigger types of corporations, even like the Fashini Group,
Ah,
even the shops that are trying to be cool. So Woolworths might not want to be cool
Abo
and in
sports
with the
scene,
hip hop,
laba.
but it's going to roll over to the Fashini Group, and sports scene is under the Fashini Group. Do you know what I mean? So that also then becomes an issue.
Sorry, my brother, go
What scene
ahead.
plays?
Has-
dope
has-
music?
Yeah, they have to.
Oh.
Capsule Fest, fella.
Definitely.
must
Has the Minister of Congratulations spoken about this?
Minister, congratulations.
Yeah.
Well done.
Arts and culture.
I'm just saying, because I don't know. Those are the worries, because sometimes, like, you sit back and you observe, you're like, but what are people doing? Because right now, for me, I feel like saying, fuck you, Woolies. I'm not actually not going to go shop at Woolies anymore.
Yeah.
I'm at that point, like, my wife was telling me Woolies, but I fuck you, Woolies, actually.
And for me, how did the news come out? Did they have to even say it? Like, they could
No,
have done it
they didn't.
silently.
No, it wasn't announced. I think it was just
They didn't
one of
renew.
they just didn't renew their license.
Yeah.
And I think for whoever the person or the insider was, who obviously checks these licenses that gets renewed,
Yeah.
was just like, you can't, it raises an eyebrow where you sit back and you're like, okay, this is a big corporation. Why they're not renewing? What's actually changed? They've had a license for so many years. Why 2020 are they deciding not to? You know what I mean? So it becomes a topic of conversation. And it
So did
rolls
they
through.
respond to, obviously there was an article, I saw Jacaranda FM also wrote like a whole article
Yes.
about it, Kaklejo, like you say.
I don't think they've responded as yet because I don't think there's been enough noise for them to respond as yet. But I think it's kind of still rolling out. So as it becomes a more topical and becomes something to kind of speak about, that's when maybe they'll get a, I don't know, they'll revert back on the issue.
And it's crazy that you should mention the ministers, because this is an endeavor that will not be only successful if artists speak about it. Because it's
Yeah.
going to seem like, just shut up.
Yeah.
But if someone who's on another pedestal, on a higher level,
Is
on
like,
a more,
yo.
you understand what I mean?
Kozman,
Yeah.
right?
And at least try to
Yeah.
say something about it, just like they did with the 90%
Yeah.
ruling.
Yeah.
It could take the conversation a
help
bit
lots,
further.
yeah.
And speaking of that, Umabato. You know Umabato, ne?
No.
She used to be on Generations.
Yeah.
She's also
Oh,
a
the
director,
actress.
and
Yeah.
the actress and a
Yes, yeah.
director and a writer. She's got nominated for something in America, an award. And the president tweeted, clapping, saying, yo, shout outs. And then she was like, you didn't even address
Yo.
arts in the State of Nation address. Then you're gonna come and clap hands. and it's crazy. It's crazy because Mabato is dating one of the EFF guys.
No,
You know
shout
what I
out
mean?
to her.
And speaking of, and that's a segue. Guys, did you see what happened in
Yo,
Parliament?
this is too
Oh
much.
my
I
God.
run things, yeah. I run
Wait, guys.
all these fools.
No, wait. No, wait.
I love Julius, dog. Julius kills me.
All of them, even Buisen is also a problem.
Hey, man.
But it looks fun, eh?
Point of what order, comrade? You are not at a perfect wedding, yeah.
And when you said disappoint or unappoint,
Unappoint.
because stop reading to love.
But guys,
Read
how do you
political
guys
literature.
feel? Like, I'll tell you why, ne?
It's a mess there.
Like, I'm a father. I'm raising a son. I've got plans to never leave this country.
Yeah.
When I was young, these things didn't matter to me. Now that I'm getting older, I'm realizing that parliament affects the tax yam.
Exactly.
So
That
Swoop,
goes down in there.
It's good you mentioned that because just the other day I was thinking, like, if I got any opportunity to move out of here, I would move.
Right
I
now,
was
brother.
thinking about it.
To where?
Crime. I'm just saying, anyway, if I got the opportunity to, like,
Do you know
yo,
what?
Baba,
Do you know
I think I would move.
Do you know
Just with
the
crime,
worst
with
part?
everything
The
that's
worst part
happening
about
around.
it for me
Ish.
is that they're not addressing the biggest issue that we have, and they don't realize the counter rollover that's actually happening with this ESCOM situation, because it affects all factors.
Yeah.
Not only is it affecting business, because business is now having to close for a certain amount of hours because they have no electricity. Things are going off, so that's also causing an issue, because if your lights are back on, you still want to cook, but now that food might just be off, and then people don't come back
Your
because
plugs.
bayagula.
Your
Your
plugs.
equipment is short-circuiting.
Yeah.
Crime is increasing because there's no lights.
Did you see what happened
I
to
mean,
Trezor?
like-
What the fucking fuck?
ESCOM is the biggest
What?
problem we have as an economy, and obviously now outside.
Don't forget the kids studying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Investors are obviously looking at South Africa like, why would I want to invest in that when they can't even keep their lights on?
And then they're doing that in parliament.
And then Woolies as well decide to say, fuck you with the music.
Guys, I don't know if you guys saw Trezor got robbed
we saw
we
that.
saw
yeah.
that.
outside the studio.
He got hijacked,
They
no?
got hijacked. They
Put him in
tied
a-
them up. They cleaned out their bank accounts.
It happened also to Tono from
Red
Red
Bull.
Bull,
Red Bull.
where they also hijacked him, put him in the boot of his car. They drove around with him for a couple of hours. This was on the eve of his birthday, which made it even worse.
Yeah, that's
Whoa.
so I saw an
And
article.
cleaned out
But
their
that's why
this
so many
seems-
people are strapped these days. Eh?
It seems to be
Everyone
the-
is
it seems
strapped
to be
these
the
days
thing.
because tick.
Do you know, I've actually even gotten to a point where when I drive at night by myself, I even take off my wig and I'm like, I'd rather look like a boy driving on the streets. Because the moment they see like big hair, curly hair, whatever, but say, female, we can attack.
No
them.
need. They attack all of us.
But I'm saying I'm a bigger target than you are. You know what I
I
mean?
got what you mean. And speaking of that, like for me, it was crazy with the Juju and the ANC fight, because you know we're coming from this whole gender violence or gender-based violence, and the way it was minimized, the way it was reduced to an insult to the president rather than the real problem in the country.
Yeah.
And people are laughing.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that shit was crazy, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get making the country ungovernable so that you can get your point across. But now, the other thing is, in the midst of you making it ungovernable, if you want to take over leadership, even if you're saying something, but the way you're going about it makes me wonder, as a mature man, Gengoku, even if I don't like what's happening here, how am I going to vote for what's happening here?
So do you think
Because it
it's a
comes off
clash-
like dictatorship
Yeah.
a lot.
I know.
So here's the thing. Do you think it's a clash of Abatabadala and the youth?
Definitely.
There's definitely
because,
a clash.
Because you can tell that,
There's new ideas which they don't want to accept. I
and
guess.
that's the problem. For me, I want to say we're not going to move forward,
And
right? And like that's me.
We'll
like,
never move
we'll
forward
never be
because
innovative because
old people find it difficult to accept change.
Yeah.
And my nigga, you look at parliament, you look at the figures sitting there.
Bonke balele, firstly.
Hey!
And if bavukile bayathukana.
And-
So it's also like
And it also, it's a cause of an alarm for me when you talk about, is it a matter of an old and new generation? And I feel like it's very important that we do look at it like that, because it's also something that happens in our game.
yeah.
definitely.
I cannot, no matter how accomplished I am, I cannot sit here and dictate and think I know what's gonna happen with these kids this
You'd
year.
be a fool.
You know what I mean? Now is the time for me to sit back and watch and learn.
No, I was about to say, we need to learn. what
Yeah.
we need to do.
You know what I
That's
mean?
How are we going to evolve?
Because
New
I feel like
new
in hip hop, it
ideas.
also happens that there's an old guard and a new guard, and sometimes we lose each other in translation.
Yeah.
And then we can't look at the politicians and be like, wena ufuna usimamela. And then meanwhile, sihleli kwezi zitulo, and we're also not working with these new kids, you know?
And also, can you guys stop calling me Khotman? Like, here are the Khotmans.
No, don't be man.
Yo, I told you.
God, everyone's calling me Khotman. I'm like, yo.
I've seen this case called Nasty say Khotman, but then I came back and said, okay, maybe it's Khotman out of respect and say, yo, we'll look up to you because you are at the position where we want to
And
be.
I was calling
Right?
Nessie Khotman
I'm
at 19.
27 years old. Stop calling me Khotman.
Say, Buddha, I am.
No, but also now he also behaves like he's old. Sometimes I'm just like, are you 40 years
Nasty
old? Or
works with like
21? 20
20 people. Like, there's like, and I don't mean his team. Like, ancestrally, when I meet him and I look at him, I can see the ancestors like, like he's just so protected. Like, that's just me and my conspiracy theories again.